Why? Okay. What is that? It says 11:30. It's not 11:30. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hi. So today is February 2nd. Fuck, it's already February. 2/2/25. So what I plan on doing today is I want to get through some of my 2024 tier lists that I've been wanting to do since like January. Just never got around to in January. So because I don't have the equipment on my computer that allows me to just record my screen while I'm going, I figured, fuck it, we'll do it live. So there's 5 tier lists I want to do for 2024. The albums I listened to, movies I watched, shows I watched, things I read, which is like books, comics, and visual novels that aren't super heavy on gameplay, and then games, which includes visual novels that are more heavy on gameplay. Think Totono as more reading material, and then Nirvana Initiative as more actual game. I don't know how many of them we're going to get through today. We're going to go as we go. If I somehow get through all 5, we'll can take it. I'm not expecting to. So before we start, I want to go ahead and just kind of explain my tier system. If you watched my previous tier list, thank you. You understand how they work. So going from the bottom to the top, the lowest possible thing you might see on a tier list is Snoop Dogg. That has nothing to do with Snoop as a person, that has nothing to do with Snoop as a musician. It is a reference to his song, Drop It Like It's Hot. If something is in the Snoop Dogg tier, it means I did not finish it. I dropped it like it was hot. Going up from there, would be BOTFB, which stands for bottom of the fucking barrel. If you are here, I hate you. I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you talk. I should have put a thing on there for just like all the songs from the Beef in albums. I didn't. I put all of Kendrick and all of Drake because I listened to them because of the Beef. But anyways, for me, bottom of the fucking barrel is 3 categories. One, I hate you. I genuinely think this is dog shit. Number two, it is at the bottom of whatever category I'm talking about. Um, I think yeah, sorry, getting a little tongue tied there. An example I tend to use like the Toy Story movies. I love all 4 Toy Story movies. If you have to make me pick a least favorite, I'm gonna pick Toy Story 4. I love Toy Story 4. It would be at the bottom, but I don't hate it. Thus, it is not bottom of the fucking barrel. And number 3, not only do I have to actually dislike it, not only is it at the bottom of the list, but I have to hate it so much with so much vitriol that the fact that anything could top this is unfathomable to me. And sometimes things can have multiple bottom of the fucking barrels. Like when we did, Clay and I watched all the Disney movies a couple years ago, which means I'm no longer caught up because I haven't seen Moana 2. But my bottom of the fucking barrel was Home on the Range. I didn't think it could get worse than that. And then I saw Wish, which I do think is worse. I there's a part of me that says like I think what sorry, Papa. I there's a part of me that says Wish supplants it, and another part of me that goes, can I have 2 of them there? And I think when I did my 2023 tier list and review, I had like 4 movies on bottom of the fucking barrel. See if I can remember. It was Wish, Lightyear, How to Train Your Dragon 3. I think I had that in there. I think I had Home because to me, DreamWorks kind of has 2. I'm not going to go into that whole thing, but that's what that means. That's what that tier means. F just means it's dog shit. I fucking hate it. I think there are very, very few, if any, redeeming qualities. And if there are redeeming qualities, they're just not enough. D is it's just mediocre. It's not good. I don't hate it, but I definitely don't like it. C, I think it's mid. I think it's average. I guess let me take that back. It's less that it's average more than I'm neutral. I think the good and the bad kind of cancel each other out, or I'm just like, I think it's fine. I don't have many opinions one way or the other on it. B means I respect it more than I like it. I do genuinely like it, but I feel like there are some problems. But there's things about this that I'm like, I really like that it did this. So I'll put that there. A means I really like it. Like I can stand this. I can really talk about how good it is, et cetera, et cetera. S means you're a contender to be my favorite of whatever category we're talking about. And the double S means you are my favorite. Sometimes I have multiple double S's. It kind of works out that way. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to dab, just didn't want to burp on camera. Um, so, with all that being said, we're going to start the first list. So let's share this screen. This is the first one here, and this is albums. You can see I don't have a bottom of the fucking barrel here because I don't think there are any off the top of my head. Even some of the albums I really don't care for from a particular artist, I don't think I'd put them on there. But if I need to add one, I'll add. We'll go as we go. Oh, I should probably also say, if there is anyone watching or ends up watching, I'm not specifically looking at the YouTube part. I'm specifically just here on the tier list. So every now and then, I might just check back to YouTube to see if there's any comments and try to interact with them if need be. Okay, so these are all the albums I listen to. There's like 90 something here. What I decided to start doing is, with the exception of a few albums, it was mostly I want to pick an artist and go through their discography. Not necessarily everything. Like, I'm not really going to listen to live albums. I'm generally not going to listen to like EPs and LPs. If I really want to, or I feel like it's super important, like if I were to listen to Eminem, who is on one of my lists for this year, like I have to listen to Marshall Mathers LP. I have to listen to Marshall Mathers LP too. But for the most part, I'm just kind of trying to stick to studio albums because I feel like this is what the average consumer would probably listen to. So let me make that my experience. And then with some exceptions, notably Kendrick, I'm like, I'm going to go out of my way to listen to all the Kendrick stuff. So what I'm going to do for the tiers is I'm going to go artist by artist and rank their albums and then kind of give my views of the artist as a whole. When I am done and all of these albums are up here somewhere, then might make some additional tiering changes. Be like, okay, this is how I felt about every individual artist, but now that I'm looking at all the music I listen to, this is a really good Foo Fighters album, but I don't think it's on the same level as this Kendrick album, and we'll go as we go. So, starting with Arcade Fire. So I'm just gonna put all the albums starting in C. I tend to like to put them in the middle of the screen. Ba, ba, and ba. And I will be completely honest. I believe I have said this before. Arcade Fire is one of the big inspirations for why I decided to listen to an entire artist. Yeah, yeah. They're the inspiration for why I was doing albums the way I did throughout the year. This dates back to when Suburbs came out, which I'm gonna guess 2011. I'm gonna double check that date. That sounds right or sounds very close because I remember it won Album of the Year that year, and I had never. Sorry, I just googled Suburbs, and of course, it just came up with Suburbs in general and not Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire. Was it 2011? Okay, it was 2010. Okay, it was 2010, which means it would have been the 2011 Grammys. So I'm kind of right. But anyways, it was the 2011 Grammys when I first heard of them. I was like, I have no idea who these people are, but I guess their album was phenomenal. Cool. And it's always kind of been in the back of my head since that maybe I should listen to them at some point and never did. I actually had no idea what their sound was, and you can make an argument that Arcade Fire doesn't know what their sound is, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. From what I remember, Funeral is kind of a more like folksy album. I remember Neon Bible being a bit more not instrumental, like I don't know if electronic is the right word, but I feel like it almost kind of was. Suburbs was definitely more folksy. Reflector was kind of more of a dance album. I don't remember. Actually, I don't even remember what this one's called. Like, I can't read it. It's like here we are as the Foo Fighters. It's like Here and Now, I think. I genuinely don't remember this album at all. And then there was We, which I don't really remember how We sounded. Like I feel like it was almost like more orchestral. That almost kind of sounds right. And I guess something else I should say about albums. I genuinely think these are some of the hardest things for me to rank and tier because unlike a show or a movie or a game, it's not unless the album is like designed this way specifically. There's not a story to follow. There's generally not characters to follow. It's here's a collection of songs, and sometimes they can feel like there's a theme around them. Sometimes they can just be like, here's just kind of feels like a set list. And as a result of that, especially when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna listen to like 2 to 3 albums a day sometimes, and you go through them really quick, they don't always stick. Because generally speaking, everything on this list is something I listened to once. I wasn't like, I'm gonna give this multiple chances. Like I'm gonna listen to it, and then we're kind of gonna move on. Maybe that's shitty. It is what it is. So as a result, there are a lot of albums on here, even some of the ones here on screen. Like I said, I don't remember this one at all. And I feel like anything I don't remember, I'm just gonna put in C. Like I'm neutral, don't really have many opinions on. But I guess that Arcade Fire as a whole, I did have a good time going through their albums. I guess I'll just kind of go one by one. Funeral, I do remember liking. I don't think I quite loved it, so I guess I'll put it in B. Neon Bible, I really liked. I remember I was either watching like a football game or a basketball game. When did I listen to this? This was a little bit before May, or maybe in like early May. Sorry, just trying to remember dates. So I might have been watching playoff basketball because like I remember watching sports, or maybe it was like playoff. No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't playoff baseball. I don't know why I could not remember the name of baseball as a sport. Anyways, I remember doing something and being really invested in what I was doing, excuse me, but also really enjoying the album. I heard that this album, or it's like I think there is a song called Black Mirror on it, and it was like one of the inspirations for the show Black Mirror. I think that's super neat. I really liked the album. Suburbs is my favorite of the bunch. I did really enjoy it. I listened to it during a session of playing Puppet Board. I ended up dropping Lies of P. Like, we'll get to that when we get to the game tier list. But it was a really fun session. It's just walking around with my dude wearing this like, German Shepherd dog mask. Just listening to Arcade Fire. It kind of really worked. Reflector, I don't think I would put an S, but I'd put it in A. I remember liking it a lot. I had a really good time with it. I remember listening to it at the gym and was like, this, yeah, I'm kind of surprised by like how kind of groovy this album is. This is really working for me. Every now and then I'll just have the refrain in my head, like, this is just a reflector. It's just a reflector. I don't remember a lot of the songs individually, but I do remember liking it a lot. Here and Now, like I said, I don't remember, and I also listened to in the gym. Unlike Reflector, it wasn't like a, "Yo, this is a gym album," but I do remember liking it quite a bit, so I'm just gonna put it in A. So then, next we're gonna do Daft Punk. So these aren't necessarily in alphabetical order by artist. When I put all the albums up, they were super jumbled around, so I was just kinda trying to put stuff together, and by the time I realized this is not gonna be in alphabetical order, and I'm not really gonna try to go back to fix it. So, all right. So Daft Punk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tron. Okay. So first album is Homework. Probably would genuinely just leave Homework in C, and that's not because I don't remember it, but I remember listening to it and really enjoying the first half of the album. And then I just didn't get into the second half. Like, I remember Around the World specifically as a song that just kind of annoyed me. Like, I was getting into it, and then after like the 15th time of hearing that same vocal sample, I was like, ah, I'm sorry, this is not it, y'all. I liked it for I liked it for a bit, and then I disliked it for a bit, and so I feel kind of neutral on the whole. Discovery Fucks. I absolutely love Discovery. I'm gonna skip ahead and put Ram up here too. I don't know which of these two is my favorite. I'm gonna put Discovery up here on the basis of how much I really love the song Digital Love. But I feel like on more or less any I kinda like these 2 pretty evenly. I'll give Discovery the edge, and like I said, just skipping ahead, I really, really liked Random Access Memory. fucking love Get Lucky. There's there's a version I have heard, and it's a like a mashup of Get Lucky and Aria of the Soul from Persona, and I think the video is called like Get Lucky in the Velvet. It's great. It's fantastic. Human After All, I would put an A. I really, really liked this album. Um, Again, this is another one of those. I don't remember a lot of specific songs, but I remember how I felt listening to it. I remembered the vibe. And I was like, this is a good album. I'm enjoying it a lot. I didn't enjoy it as much as these two, but it's really good. And I would put the Tron Legacy soundtrack here as well. I so there's a friend of mine he's a huge film buff. And because the new Tron movie's coming out this year, I don't know why. I thought it was coming out in like January or February. It's not coming out till October. Maybe it got delayed. I don't know. But he's like, I really want to go see the new Tron movie. I haven't seen the other two. So he's like, I kind of like to watch everything before I see the new thing. So me, him, and another friend watched the first two Tron movies. And I'd never seen Tron before, and I won't get into that. Actually, did I put Legacy on the list too for movies? I think they should both be on the list. So I won't go super deep into the movies right now, but I remember Tron Legacy, and I enjoyed it. I'd seen it before. I think I enjoyed it more the second time, but I remember both of my friends were like, "Yeah, this movie looks really good and the soundtrack is phenomenal, but this movie is not it." And I think in Seven's review of it was, "This movie would be really good if there was no time." That was really fucking funny. But, that's Daft Punk. Just overall, I really enjoyed Daft Punk. I had a lot of fun. And yes, it makes me very sad that now there's no more Daft Punk. Especially that means I can never go to a Daft Punk show unless they get together for a reunion. I think that would be really, really fun. I would love to do it. Okay, now it's time for Kanye. There are a lot of Kanye albums. And I'm gonna be honest, I think there's a few I didn't listen to. I think there's a few joint albums because there's a couple joint albums I put on the list because I wanted to listen to them. There's a couple I didn't. I think there's like the Vultures albums. I don't think I even listened to those. I think there's a Donda 2 that came out that I didn't listen to. I didn't listen to Donda. I listened to a couple tracks and I don't know what it was. I was just like, I'm not feeling this. I don't really want to listen to this. So I didn't. So I'm gonna put it there at the bottom. College Dropout is really good. One of my favorite songs on the list is the last one. I don't remember what it's called, but it's this really long song, which is not even really a song. It's just Kanye talking about his life and like, how he's, getting this opportunity and how grateful he is for it just to a beat. And it's I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. Like it had a nice vibe to it. And just a lot of the other songs of Kanye's workout tape is so fucking funny. What is the it's no salad, or it's like eat your salad, no dessert. It's shake your ass, go berserk, eat your salad, no dessert. That was so hard. The skits are so funny. The the one dude, he's like, "Yeah, I've never had sex. I'm not happy. I'm sleeping on the sidewalk. But you know what I've got? A degree. And my degree keeps me warm. And when I die, I'm gonna get my degree." It's horrible on the album. They really made me laugh. I have to put it in S. I really enjoyed it. I don't remember what the song was, or what this album was called. Oh, this is bothering me. It's the second one in the trilogy. It's like Going Back to School, but I don't think that's what it's called. Oh, I have to look it up. This is bothering me. Kanye's second album. Late Registration. That's it. I was not gonna guess that. Here's the thing. Let me just go ahead and say this. Like, I genuinely think the College trilogy are all S tier albums. And I'm not trying to straight up order albums right now, even by artists. Generally speaking, I'm just kind of going to keep them in chronological order. I don't know what my favorite of these 3 is. I think College Dropout is my least favorite, but I still think it's an S tier album from how much I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought Late Registration was phenomenal. Again, I thought the skits were really funny. The flat bro cracked me up. There was this one song, I don't remember what it was called, but it was about I think it was, like, when his grandma died and, like, his feelings about that and, like, the feelings of his family about that, that, like, really hit me. I think Mama was on this album, and it's just a song about a son talking about how much he loves his mom and how he's like, "I wanna do, like, everything for my mom. I wanna take care of my mom," and, like, this I genuinely feel like this is every son's dream, is, "I wanna make it big because I want to take care of the people who took care of me. I want to take care of my mom." As I'm very close to my mom, so that song hit me pretty hard too. It also has Gold Digger's great. I think there's I don't remember what all the other, like, single, like, big hits were, but I just remember loving this album, and I liked it a little bit more than this one. And Graduation's just a fucking, like, all-time classic. I love Homecoming. Homecoming has a genuine argument to be my favorite Kanye song. I sorry, brain stop for a second. Stronger a lot too. I always get, like, kinda giddy whenever it pops up on the radio. Um I don't remember what the song is called, but they're just like, "Oh, oh, oh, boom, 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 oh, oh, oh." I like that one a lot. There's a song I heard on the extended version, because generally speaking, I wasn't trying to listen to, like, "Alright, let me hear the extended versions of an album, let me listen to the deluxe bonus track that's only in Japan," kinda thing. But every now and then, if it was on the playlist, I'd be like, "Alright, fuck it, I guess I'll listen to it." And this had Bittersweet Poetry, which was a song featuring John Mayer. I love Bittersweet Poetry, especially because I think I listened to the album and then watched a Saints game. I'm wearing my Saints shirt, by the way. And I was watching a Saints game, and I think it was the Eagles game where the Saints were winning basically the entire game, but still lost. But it's not that they were winning big because the offense wasn't doing shit because Taysom was out, Eric McCoy was out, and with Eric McCoy out, the entire offensive line fell apart. With the offensive line falling apart, the running game couldn't do anything. Carr didn't have time to throw, and got Carr having time to throw. He couldn't. The receivers couldn't do shit. Anyways, don't really want to talk about the Saints right now. But bittersweet poetry perfectly describes how I feel being a Saints fan, especially in this season. What is it? It's the like bittersweet, gonna be the death of me. I don't want you, but I need you. Love you and hate you at the very same time. Like anytime a Saints game came on after that day, bittersweet poetry would just start playing in my head. S tier album. Waits and Heartbreak. I don't know if I'd put it in B or if I'd put it in A. But I'm gonna put it in A. I didn't like the sound necessarily of the album, with it being sounding very much like more like auto-tuned and shit like that. Like, for example, Heartless. I really like Heartless lyrically. I've heard other versions that I really, really like by The Fray, by Chris Allen. I don't love Kanye's version, and it just because the distorted vocals don't super do it for me. But thematically, I love 808s and Heartbreaks. Coldest Winter is a song I genuinely really like. I believe that was the song written for his mother after his mother passed away, and I think it's pretty heartbreaking. To me, what really puts the album into A over B, where I'm like, "No, no, no, I really like it," is Pinocchio's Story, which is the final song. Pinocchio's Story feels like you're watching the end scene or something close to the ending of a biopic, where it's like, all right, this is a story about, this musician and, his rags to riches story, or even not rags, just like, here's a dude who this was his life, but he knew what he wanted and he got what he wanted and he rose to the top. and he's miserable and he's lonely for A, B, and C reasons. And now he's on stage, he's on tour, and he's performing this song about how lonely he is and about how much he's hurting. And no one in the audience is listening to him. It is a genuine, not a cry for attention, but it's a genuine cry for help or like a cry to be loved and to be seen. And no one there really sees him. No one is listening. And there's the part of me that's like, I wish this song wasn't live because I really liked it. Like, I would just love to hear the studio version of Pinocchio's story. But it being live makes it hit that much harder. I think it's phenomenal. This might be the best album I listened to this year. I don't know. I might kind of keep the double S's where they are and be like, but my all-time favorite of what I listened to this year is in the triple S. There's a non I'm probably gonna do that. There's a strong non-zero chance it's gonna be My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I I guess number one, I listened to this album twice, and I think this is the only album on the list that I listened to multiple times this year. I've listened to Pimp a Butterfly multiple times. I've actually listened to Kids See Ghosts before, so it's my second time through it. Because I knew I wanted to start Kanye. I think I was still in the middle of I was because I was taking a walk after a really like long, frustrating, bad day. And I was listening to Views, so I was pretty early on in Drake's discography. Right now, Views is like the fourth album, so maybe around the middle. And I was like, I like this album. I don't want to listen to the next Drake album. I'm really looking forward, and they said this at the time with like a no disrespect toward Drake. Although now that I listened to all of Drake's studio albums, it's not like I was really looking forward to the rest of them in hindsight. I'm like, I really can't wait to start Kanye. I'm gonna throw on is it MBDTF? Yeah, MBDTF. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on because I've never listened to this album and I've heard it's phenomenal. And I finished my walk while listening to it. And after the day I had, I felt like I kind of hated it. Hour is great. All of the Lights, I think, is my favorite on the album. And the interlude is just so good. I like Monster, and I know most people will probably say, like, Nicki is the best part of it, and, like, her verse is great. Rick Ross, where he's on there for just, like, a little bit at the beginning of I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm a monster, fat motherfucker." I saw the comment as, like, like, Nicki says all this shit. Yo, Kanye absolutely spitting at Rick Ross. I'm fat. Yeah, that's kind of it. It was it's really funny. It was really entertaining. It's I feel like this album is a genuine work of art. And like I said, Homecoming has an argument of being my favorite Kanye song. I've just always loved Homecoming. I was just talking about All of the Lights. I was like, it's not even my favorite song of the album. It's so good. My favorite Kanye song is Runaway. I don't even think that's like a contest. Just every now and then, I'll just hear it in my head, just that dun, 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 dun. So it's such a simple melody, and then like there's obviously a lot more done with it as the song progresses. Not even that deep into the song, but there's something so like haunting and hypnotic about that little piano bit. And yeah, I mean, I've got like song choruses that'll pop in my head every now and then. Just the you been putting away my shit just way too long. It's so I want to say it. Pinocchio's story, like I said, felt like this is a very sad and lonely person wanting to be seen. Runaway feels like an apology because someone saw them. Like, there's a line from BoJack. I saw it the other day. Like, I'm not like rewatching BoJack, but I saw the clip where I don't remember the name of the owl girlfriend. That was season 3, I think, which is the whole oh god, the Disneyland thing with the 2 eyes. That shit is so fucking funny. Um, where it's during their breakup, and the line she has to BoJack is, like, "When you look at someone through rose-tinted glasses, all the red flags just look like flags," which I really like. But I think BoJack's line to her is, "You didn't know me, and then you loved me, and now you know me." That's what Runaway feels like. It's it's that for how long is the song? Like 9 minutes, 11 minutes, and I love the second half where it's just this garbled, unintelligible mess because it really does feel like someone trying to communicate how they feel, how they see the world, to apologize, or at least just explain it, but they just can't explain it. And I find it so interesting. Like, it's my favorite Kanye album, and like I said, I think there is a strong non-zero chance it's just going to be my favorite album of the year. Watch the Throne, this was the Kanye Jay-Z album. Would I put it in A? I feel like I maybe put it in B. Like, I don't super remember the album, I just remember having a good time with it. I remember really liking Otis, but I was first introduced to and you probably know what I'm talking about. It's the shoot, sorry, my face I just it's the video of, like, that DJ in New York, I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, playing the song and, like, every few seconds will, like, say some shit and restart the song, so you don't hear the full song when it's like, "Hey, if you're at it's like, if you're at a gas station, just put your hand in the register, right?" And it's so funny. Yeah, the album's good. I liked it. I don't know what to do with Yeezus. To me, it kind of feels like 808s, where I'm like, I just didn't like the musical style of the song. Like, how did I describe it to a friend? I was like, Yeezus to me feel like musically feels like the kind of music I would have imagined people listen to in like 2032. It has this very futuristic feel to it. It's this very angry, aggressive album. I didn't get into it. I feel like yeah, I do respect it, and I feel like I kinda wanna put it in B for that, but I don't think I really liked listening to it either. So I kinda wanna put it in C, but I feel like I respect it enough to leave it where it is. I'm having a lot of trouble remembering Life of Pablo. I love Ultra Light Beam. That's a song I'm actually quite familiar with. I love Chance's verse on it. That's actually like an all-time favorite verse for me personally. The rest of the album, I don't super remember getting into. There's the part of me that's like Ultra Light Beam puts it in B, but like I don't know. I don't think I was that high on the rest of it, so I'll keep it in C. Kids See Ghosts, I don't think I'll put it in S. I don't think I can put it on the level of the trilogy, but I'll put it in A. I really liked it. I haven't listened to Kid Cudi, so maybe I should. Maybe I should put him on the list for this year at some point. But I think I'll put it in A because I really enjoyed it. Yay? To me, Yay kind of feels like baby MBDTF. Like I actually liked it quite a bit. Not to the same level as this, not to the same level as these, but I honestly liked it. And Jesus is King, I don't super remember it. I think I'll just kinda leave it in C. So that's Kanye. Who's next at Foo Fighters? It's Kendrick. Okay. Next is Kendrick. Oh boy, there's a lot. Because like I said, it was I did the studio albums, and after I did that, I was like, huh, I genuinely found myself wanting more. So you know what? I'm gonna go listen to more. So we're not gonna start with the studio albums. We're gonna start with the mixtapes. And I'll be honest, these aren't technically all in chronological order because I believe the Kendrick Lamar EP actually came out before Overly Dedicated. But I'm just trying to say, like, all right, here's all the mixtapes, the EP, Untitled Unmastered, and then the studio albums. Blah, 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 and the last one. To be honest, I'm just gonna leave these 3 in C. I don't remember them super well. They didn't leave a huge impact on me. I think I kind of liked them. I don't super remember Training Day. I think the first one, which is that? Was that Head in Charge? HNIC? Yeah. No, that's No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Okay, it's like I really don't remember them super well. This one I don't remember as much either, but I think I liked it. I remember really liking Overly Dedicated. I'm gonna put it in A. I don't remember a lot of the songs specifically from the EP or what is it? Untitled Unmastered, I think is what it's called. But again, remembering just the vibes, I remember liking this one a lot, and I loved this one, even though shorter. I almost want to put it in S. Just based on memory, but I don't think I can or I will. Section 80, so just don't remember that. I'm sorry. Like I said, that's kind of the problem with albums is just because I'm listening to these once and it's with some exceptions, like this one in particular. This one has a very strong central theme, which makes it a lot easier to remember. Section 80 probably did have a strong central theme. It might have. I know GKMC does as a storyline. TPAP definitely has like themes and shit. I feel like I remember the other studio albums really well. I just don't remember Section 80, so I'm going to keep it in C. GKMC, you kind of have to put it in S for Kendrick. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. My introduction to Kendrick Lamar's music, so it specifically it's the "Listen to me, Kendrick. I am no conscious being not hearing that you will lead history, Kendrick. I know that you're not right now, and I'm hoping to lead you to victory, Kendrick." That was my introduction to Kendrick Lamar. So I kind of want to put it in S just out of respect for that in its own way. And also it's fucking GKMC. It's phenomenal. Well, T-Bab's gonna go up here. This is genuinely one of my favorite albums of all time. I talked about it last year because last year, like, I haven't listened to this in a long time. I want to try it again. Is it as good as I remember it being? Yeah, maybe better. I don't know. My favorite track personally is How Much a Dollar Cost. I think it's really strong and really effective. And it was something I was really thinking about after I finished the album. Just that idea, not necessarily the specific example in the song of like, hey, you you didn't give money to a homeless guy, asshole, so you're going to hell, but that God gave you a test. And I've talked about this several times on my channel. Like I do have faith. I feel very strongly in my faith, even if sometimes my actions, my language, all my f bombs don't always maybe indicate that. But just that concept of God is giving you a test, and it's for you specifically. Like Hendrick's character and How Much a Dollar Cost is very, I don't know if I'd say greedy is the right word. You can make that argument that it's his greed, or maybe it's just that it's his pride. I had to fight for this. I had to earn this. This is mine to keep. I wasn't asking people for handouts, so why should I have to give someone a handout? And God giving you a test based on your personality and your sin and your weakness, and then failing. And it kind of made me really think about my own life or like where I man, like, if I was given that specific test, would I have passed or failed? Okay. What if it was a test that was made for me? Um, I I really might have failed. I need to go home and rethink and really love that. And then, like a lot of the other songs on the album, King Kunta's great. Wesley's Theory is great. Um, I'm like, I love you and I so much. Uh, you as a song, not as much right now, and I'm very glad it doesn't as much right now. But it is a song that has hit me very hard. And like when I listened to the album last year in 2020, it's last year's 2024 now. When I listened to it in 2023, it was a song that hit me very hard and very personally. And when I listened to it last year, I still loved it as a song. And it just kind of made me realize I'm not in this place anymore. I'm really grateful for that. Damn, I didn't enjoy it as much as GKMC or TPAB, but I liked it a lot. I think it's very good. I think it's a very strong album. So I'm gonna put it there. I fucking loved Mr. Morale. Uh, I think like seeing like Mr. Morale up here and like how much I love MBDTF. I feel like these are the kind of albums that I really like when they're just very personal and you have an artist just talking about their life and their experience and some of their regrets and their how it's affected them. How it's well, it just came out. I keep wanting to say DMX, but I'm like, wait, that's a rapper. I don't know if that's the name of this. I don't know if it's the name of the album. Um, I would put it here. I don't think I liked it quite as much as these two, although I do love all the memes. They're so good. I did enjoy the album. I did enjoy the album quite a bit, quite a lot. There was a part of me that was like, Kendrick just dropped a new album, holy shit. And was kind of hoping it would have songs from the beef. I understand why it doesn't. It's like that's something separate. This is the new album, it's the new direction. If I could put the beef on here as an album, that would go in double S. So, thought it was great. If you watch my videos, you actually I don't know how often I've quoted Euphoria on camera. You my favorite song from the Beef. It's like no question. As great as Not Like Us is, as much as I want Not Like Us to like sweep the Grammys, and I can't wait to hear it at the Super Bowl when the entirety of the world is doing Euphoria is my favorite. So that's Kendrick. Who's next? Next we have gosh, how many albums do I there's still a lot, bro. Next is Matchbox 20. I don't think I really said what I think about Kendrick as a whole. As a whole, I really enjoyed listening to Kendrick. Like I said, I listened to the studio albums and I found myself wanting more. And while I am meeting mixtapes in C, but I just don't remember them super well, I don't remember disliking them. Like, these suck. It was, this is okay. But I think I prefer the newer stuff more, but I genuinely was one of my favorite artists to listen to this year. I think I said the same thing about Kanye. I feel like Kanye up to Fantasy, yes, and kind of everything after it is a bit more spotty. Kendrick felt to me as a whole maybe a little stronger, I get more consistent. Smash Bros. Do I actually know the names of these albums? I'm gonna be honest. I don't super remember these two, but I remember liking them. No, one is called North. I don't remember what the other one's called. My bad. I remember liking them, so I'll probably just put them in B. And also gonna put in the 'cause it's a compilation album, also with some new stuff. I think the new stuff was all right, but I'm a very big fan of How Far We've Come. I remember hearing that song on the radio a lot in oh 08, oh 09, somewhere in that range. I don't remember the album came out. I've been a very big fan of it. These three I remember a lot more. Mad Season, I know I'm not going in order. Whoops. Mad Season, I would put in A. I had a lot of fun with it. I think we talked about one of the songs on that week's Park opening, and it's the song called it's like "When You Were Mine" or You Won't Be Mine." I think that's what it's called. Because I remember seeing the title and thinking, okay, I get it. This is going to be a very sad song. I don't want to say like a whiny song because like I love a good love song, even if it's a like I'm sad because you left or I fucked up kind of shit. Like it can still be good, but I'm expecting something like that. And as I'm listening to it, I just have this strong visual of a dude. So let's just say Rob Thomas, I suppose, walking up to this like big dusty piano in this very empty room or empty stage and then just starts sitting and playing. And it's one of the few times like listening to all these albums where I had like a very strong visual. And to me, the lyrics felt less, it's very much like, you're not going to be my problem anymore. And I know you're going to be okay after all of the bullshit you put me through. Like, what is it? Over the lies, you'll be strong. You'll be rich in love. You will carry on. But you won't be mine. And really enjoyed it. I mean, I do like some of the other songs on the album as well, but that's the one that for me really carried it. I don't remember the name of the first album. I feel really bad about that, but I genuinely really love this album. I think it's great. I think I can make an argument that it's the best Matchbox 20 album. I think most people probably would say so. It's where like a lot of the hits come from. That's where 3 AM is. I love 3 AM. That's where fuck what's the song I'm thinking of? Real World. Thank you. Because that's the song that really makes me think of Worm. Because I actually think it would be a really good like opening song for like a Worm animated show. Um Always loved Push. And I know I talked about this when I talked about Barbie, but I feel like it bears repeating. The use of Push in Barbie is fucking brilliant to me because lyrically, I guess it's like at first blush, it very much sounds like a song about a man abusing a woman. It is a male vocalist, Mr. Rob Thomas, and the refrain is, I want to push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I want to push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. I'm going to take you for granted. I will. But anyway, so when the Kens all collectively say, "Hey, this is my new favorite song. Let me play it for you." Like, really listen to Push. You would know the first, like I think 2 words of the song are "she says," and then getting into the rest of the lyrics. Because although it is a male vocalist, it is from a woman's perspective. It is a woman saying, I want to push you around. I want to take you for granted. And the fact that the Kens are too dumb to realize their empowering song about pushing around the Barbies is not from the man's perspective is really funny. But the fact that they all unwittingly chose a song about being pushed around and pushed down and taking for granted by the women in their life is really interesting and a really clever choice. I fucking love that. I think this is an S tier album. More Than You Think You Are is my favorite Matchbox 20 album. I just really, really like this album. I really like a lot of the songs on it. I've liked Bright Lights a lot for a long time. I love Unwell. I think All I Need. I don't know if I'd say it is my favorite Matchbox 20 songs, again, how much I really like Push and whatnot, but this album hit me a little bit. I don't even know if it's like it hit me harder, but I did enjoy it more. So I'm gonna keep it up there. Also, I think this is the one that has Disease. Really like Disease. Disease is dope as shit. Jumping on wheels in a black dress. Okay, now it's time for Foo Fighters. Okay, there's good amount of stuff here. And something that okay, that's probably gonna be stuck in my no, goes in silence, goes there, and then ba ba. No, fuck. I don't know how to jump without an actual mouse. Okay, Foo Fighters. The self-titled debut album, which is, if I'm correct, it is just Dave Grohl, like, no one else had joined the band yet. I think it's fine. I don't remember it super well, I'm gonna keep it there. The color and the shape, I'm gonna put it in an S. I enjoyed this album quite a bit. I love Everlong. I really, really like that song. At this point, I genuinely forget a lot of the titles of these albums. My bad, I just don't know. Album number 3, I liked a lot. There I'm gonna put it in S for one reason and one reason alone, and that's the song "Aurora." It's like a 6-minute song, and when I got to it on the album, I just kept replaying it. I don't even know why. It just really loved it, and I liked the rest of the album on top of it, but, like, that one just really got to me. I don't remember I know there's songs on this one I really liked, so I'm gonna just put it in B. This one this is the double album where I think it's like the first half is more like rock centric and the second half is a softer half, or I might have that backwards. I'm generally not crazy about double albums, just 'cause the length, but I did enjoy this. I thought it was a neat experiment, and it has some songs in there I really like. I don't remember what it's called, but it has that song about, like, Kurt Cobain that I thought was really good, and it also has, Best of You, which might be my favorite Foo Fighters song. I talked about, here with How Much a Dollar Cost, about that if God was testing me, would I pass or fail? And like I said, it's something that, like, was really kinda sitting with me for a while. Best of You kinda hit me with that too. It's just that sense of, am I giving the people in my life the best version of me? And if not, what is it that's holding me back? What are yeah, as the song even says, like, everyone's got their chains to break. Like, what are my chains? I really thought about it. And genuinely, the song kind of helped me make some life changes. I feel like for that alone, I kind of have to put it in S. This was my favorite though. I I don't even remember why. I just remember listening to the album and just the I didn't cry or anything. I don't think I cried listening to any of these albums, but something about Echo Silence, Patience, and Grace, and it's not the title track, but the lyrics come from the final track, which is Home, so I guess it's kind of the eponymous track. That one was my favorite of the album. I thought it was great. I don't remember what this is called, but I remember really liking this album, and then it ends on Walk. And I know I keep saying about a lot of Foo Fighters songs, like, "This is my favorite," or "This is one of my favorites." Walk is so, so good. It's so cathartic and empowering. Like, it's the perfect end to that album, and I feel like to me personally, it feels like a great sequel to Best of You. It's like, all right, you've gotta, you break your chains, take your control back, and be that best version of yourself. And then you're learning to walk again, but you've got this. Damn, maybe I like Foo Fighters more than I thought I because I really enjoyed Foo Fighters. Sonic Highways, I wouldn't put an S, but I put it an A. What's this called? Concrete Gold, I think. I think I'd probably do that. Sunday Rain, which is the like 6 minute long song that's sung by Taylor Hawkins and not Dave Grohl, that has Paul McCartney as the drummer. Super neat. That was the Aurora where I was like, I just keep replaying this song. I just really, really like it. I don't remember Medicine at Midnight, so I'm just gonna keep it in C. Like, I just don't remember it at all. This is an S tier album. I remember 2023, I listened to And Here We Are, and it didn't really do anything for me. I kinda had it on in the background, I was doing some other shit, and I was like, "Yeah, this seems fine. I guess I like this okay." And then when I listened to it this time, and it being the last album, and, like, I knew the context behind it previously. It's like this was after Taylor Hawkins passed away, and it seems like a lot of the album was inspired by his passing and, like, how the band was dealing with it. But again, it didn't super hit me when I first listened to it. And then now I'm like, this album's great. Like, holy shit. It's not my favorite, but it really, really might be to the point where I feel like I kinda wanna bump these 2 down. I kinda wanna bump these 3 down, and I think I will. As much as, like, Best of You to me is a very important song and, like, Walk is a very important song, I feel like this as a whole, to me, was a lot stronger. I think I'm gonna put Color and Shape down too. That feels right. Okay, who's next? Is it Drake? No, it's Fuel. This is gonna be really quick. I'm gonna put that in C. I'm gonna put that in C, and I'm gonna put that in B because I really like Shimmer and I really like Hemorrhage. That's it. That was super easy. I didn't even listen to all of Fuel because here's the thing: Shimmer is an all-time favorite song of mine, and so is Hemorrhage. Man, like I absolutely love these songs. Let me check out the rest of their discography. Maybe it's really, really good. And it just didn't hit me. It really didn't. And I was like, there's like other albums here, and I don't really want to listen to them. And it's like, like some of the founding members, I think the vocalist had left, and then he came back at one point. So at what point is Fuel done? Essentially, I was like, how can I technicality my way out of doing more of these because they're just not doing it for me, which made me realize these aren't doing it for me. I don't even want to. Which I mean, you can argue it's like, all right, if they were that not doing anything for you, why aren't they in D? I just felt because I didn't feel like this is mediocre. I just kind of felt nothing, which you could argue is worse. But since I didn't feel active dislike, I'll put it in like C. Now we move on to Coldplay. No, okay. Don't leave me drowning in your Sunday rain. It's right down the drain I go. Don't leave me drowning in your Sunday rain. It's all just a shame, I know. Then pray, then let go. Okay, I guess the song that was stuck in my head quite a bit. Okay, so now we're on Coldplay. Parachutes, I think I liked okay. I wasn't crazy about it, but I had a decent time. There were some songs I remember liking. Yellow is one of my all-time favorite songs. I feel like the album as a whole is probably like B tier-ish for me. Yellow puts it into A. This is a contender for being my favorite album of the year. I really, really loved Rush of Blood to the Head. I had this very interesting experience listening to it where I woke up really early in the morning. I was up at like 4 or 5. I think it was like 4 because I just couldn't sleep. And I was waiting for my bar results and I was very distressed. I was very nervous. I was like, I know I passed this, but I don't know that I passed this. And I'm starting to get like really afraid and I'm really terrified. And I remember just like I can't sleep. I don't know when the results are even coming in. I know they're today, but I don't know if that's at like 10 a.m., 8 p.m. Let me throw on the next Coldplay album. And I remember just sitting there at night or just like early in the morning with my headphones in and Politic hits. And I just felt like I was floating. Like it was so ethereal. And there's a lot of other songs on there that like I enjoy, but then you get Scientist, which is beautiful, and Clocks, which is an all-time favorite song. The eponymous Russia Blood to the Head, which I think is great, and definitely was getting me into the mood to work on Severance, which I still need to start doing again. So I might throw on that song and just like, go back to Severance. Um, and then it ends with Amsterdam. And I don't know if I've really said this on any like car talk videos. I might have, I don't know. But I remember having a really rough September. And part of that was the bar results, which I mean, I passed. Like everything was Gucci, but just the stress of it and the frustration of it, and then like some other shit. Actually, no, I did talk about it because that's when I listened to this one early. Because I listened to Fantasy again as I was doing Kanye's other albums. Like, yeah, this is phenomenal. I remember this one night where I was just not good. And then I threw on Amsterdam and just kinda had it on repeat, and it really did a lot for me. And it's really just that part at the end, like, a tied to a noose until you came along and cut me loose. Beautiful. Um, so I listened to it. I listened to X and Y, that night of waiting for the oh, wait, these are supposed to be in D. Anyways, whatever. Um, that night of listening to the bar, I threw on X and Y, and I couldn't get past "Fix You." I had it on repeat because that song is beautiful, and I realized I told a fib earlier when I said listening to albums didn't make me cry, because I cried so hard listening to "Fix You" that night. Like, it's S. There's a part of me that's like, I kinda wanna also put it in double S. Which I'm not supposed to. It's kinda supposed to be 1 per customer, but I don't care. It's my list. I can break my rules if I want to. Um, Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends, I liked it. I think it was fine. I didn't love it. Again, as you might imagine, it's like, "Wow, this hit me really hard. Wow, this hit me really hard." Yeah, this one's pretty good. We put it in B. Same with My Loto Xyloto. It's a more like rock opera kind of albums. Like there's supposed to be a story going on. I can kind of see it. It's an album where while I like a lot of the songs, like I really like Every Teardrop is a Waterfall. I love Paradise. It does feel very overproduced. And I think to me that muddles the experience a bit, which is why it's not higher, but I like the songs enough, which is why it's not lower. Those stories I would put in A. This felt more in line with what I'm kind of expecting from Coldplay after these 2. It didn't hit me as hard, but I like it quite a bit. What was this? Like Daydreaming, I think is what it's called. This one I'd actually be the first album I would just straight up say it's in D because I didn't like it. I remember just it like some of these albums I listened to, I'm like, this didn't really do much for me. This one was like, this just feels not good. Eh. This one I don't super remember, so I'm gonna stick with putting it here. And then the music of the spheres. I remember I liked this one. I think this is the one that has Color of Toro. It's just this like really long song, but I liked it. But I put it in A. I think I maybe put it in B, maybe A. I remember liking it. I really liked Moon Music. What the one day when I like put it on. So I think I'll say that. I could maybe argue. I don't think I would put it in S. So I think that's right for Coldplay. Ah, now it's time for Aubrey. Okay. So I'm not gonna start putting stuff in the middle of the screen now because there's just not enough room. Okay. This I remember liking okay. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't even remember the names of most of these albums. This one I actually really enjoyed. I think Hotline Bling no, Hotline Bling I think is on Views, but this has Marvin's Room, which there's definitely been some memes with it, but I actually really like that song. I just remember really enjoying listening to this album. This one I also remember being like kind of I don't remember it specifically, but it was kind of like a B C-ish range. I guess I'll put it here as I don't remember it super well. Views was my favorite. Sorry, I'm actually trying to put it. It was my S tier. I guess it's my double S tier Drake album, but I don't even feel that strongly about it. I feel like I would put it in A. I don't think I'm gonna put anything for Drake in S. We're gonna skip Scorpion first. No, there's no point to it. Okay. Scorpion has Sandra's Rose, which is very similar to that one Kanye song I was talking about like the passing of his grandma. And I remember loving Sandra's Rose, and I kind of hated the rest of the album. Scorpion is a double album. Like I said earlier, like I'm not as crazy about double albums just because they're super long, but again, I don't remember what these Foo Fighter albums are called. My bad. But I remember liking this album. I thought it was a really cool idea, and it has a song on there that means a lot to me. Biggie, Life After Death. That is a double album. I'm not crazy about double albums, but it's a really fucking good double album. I personally prefer Ready to Die. I think it's a little bit stronger, but Life After Death, it is great. Scorpion Scorpion is why I don't like double albums because I listened to it before that Foo Fighters album. I listened to it before that Biggie album. So maybe I just don't hate double albums. I just hate Scorpion because it's really fucking long and there was one song on there I liked. The rest of it was a nothing burger. So there's the part of me that goes, does Sandra's Rose put the album into D and save it from F? Because I did like the song a lot. But I'm sorry. It felt so boring to me as I was listening, and I was listening to it while playing Wukong. I listened to Drake while playing Wukong. I listened to Kendrick while playing Wukong. I listened to Kanye while playing Wukong. I think I talked about this a few times while like doing car talk videos. Playing a game, like an action game, where I'm playing as Sun Wukong, who is a character that is all about just kicking someone's ass and just showing like Sun Wukong to me embodies what boastful rap is all about. And playing as this character, more or less, but playing as this character while listening to rap music is fucking great. It is a match made in heaven. And when I am listening to a double length rap album while playing as Sun Wukong and feeling bored by the background music, that's really bad. I was like, I make fun of Scorpion all the time now in my daily life. Like, it's just kind of a me personally thing, but I just feel like I take shots at it a lot. I kind of have to put it in F. I mean, I enjoyed Certified Lover Boy more than Scorpion, but I don't remember being like, "Yo, this album's great." It was fine, I guess. Like, I don't know, C maybe. I finished the album, but I skipped like 3 or 4 tracks doing it because, like Scorpion, it just kinda bored me. And I remember thinking to myself, like, "This is one of the most perfectly titled albums of all time," because I said several times while listening to a song, "Honestly, never mind," and just fucking skipping it. And again, I'm listening to this while playing a Sun Wukong. I shouldn't feel bored. Why am I feeling bored? Um, I remember liking all the dogs. Fine, I don't know. I guess I'll like put it in B. This, I don't know, like almost kind of feels right for Drake. Oh yeah, I haven't really been talking about artists as a whole like I was supposed to. Whoops. Matchbox 20. I had a good time with Matchbox 20. Like I said, the last two albums I remember liking, but they just didn't hit me as well. And maybe if I like really sat and listened to them, they might have hit me more. But I do like them quite a bit. Foo Fighters, as I was really talking about, there's a lot of songs that hit me really hard or have like a lot of meaning for me. And I think the albums as a whole tend to be good. And then there's like these crown jewels that really elevate it. Fuel, unfortunately for me, just didn't do much. I was also listening to Fuel while I was playing Wukong. I'm like, why is this not like doing it for me? Like, what the fuck? Coldplay, I very much enjoyed. There is a lot of stylistic changes. Like these feel very similar to each other, but they don't really feel like ghost stories, which feels more like these two, which these two definitely don't feel like. It's interesting. I would say the style choice, like I just listened to all of Linkin Park a couple days, like over the course of the last week. I would say the style changes in Coldplay don't feel as like nutty as they really do in Linkin Park, but it there's definitely some differences, but I enjoyed them a lot. Drake, I feel like the first 4 albums, like everything up to Views, I liked well enough. I might put this a little bit higher because I remember not loving it, but kind of liking it. Nah, I guess that's fine. I think that's fine. Like everything up to Views, I more or less liked, and then I was just kind of bored. Who's next? Okay, Sia. To me, I'll go over Sia as a whole and then do the albums. Sia has a beautiful voice. I love listening to Sia sing. And me personally, I felt like the earlier albums, I just didn't get into them. And I don't really know why. And I feel like it was like just really don't know why. I felt like when she started doing more pop centric music, I enjoyed it more. I don't know. I feel like normally that would kind of be the opposite, and it probably is for a lot of people. But I really enjoyed the more like pop centric Sia albums. I don't remember the other ones as much, and I feel bad about that. But even still, I feel like her voice is so good. Even the ones I don't remember, I would still put them in B for that alone. Like I said, that's the thing when I listen to albums. Like sometimes I'm like, man, there's like some songs on here that I really remember, or I really remember the vibes. And other times I just don't. But I would definitely put these in a Reasonable Woman too. I really liked Reasonable Woman. From what I understand, the album didn't do well and it kind of flopped. I was like, really? This album was great. The Christmas album, I'd also probably put in B. Although that one I remember, I'm like, I would just actually put it in B. This one I don't remember doing much for me, so I think that looks right and feels kind of fair. Put this one a little bit higher because I did like this one more than this one. Was it This Is Acting? And I don't remember what that one is. That's the one that has Chandelier, which I love, but think that feels about right. Actually, I don't know. I kind of want to put this in S. Again, I don't even remember a lot of the specific songs. I just remember really liking this album. Radiohead. So Radiohead, here's the thing. Pablo Honey is genuinely like I think the album as a whole would probably go like here, but Creep is one of my favorite songs. And if you've never heard it, there is a cover of Creep by I believe it's a guy that goes by Mustard, and it's beautiful. I think it is my favorite version of that song. If you've never heard it, please go listen to it. Ben's an okay computer. I don't really remember as well because I also remember I started listening to Radiohead and then I just stopped listening to albums to focus on the bar and then went back to Radiohead. So there was this long period in disconnect and I didn't re-listen to them, but I remember liking them both. So I'll put them both in A because it kind of feels right. Amnesiac and Kid A, from what I understand, these were like it was supposed to be one album, but it got split up, or it was a bunch of like B-sides or unfinished tracks or something like that. It was something weird like behind the scenes, but I really fucked with both of them. Like I really liked both of these albums. Sorry, there's so much shit on this tier. That feels right. This one, I just don't super remember it. I think that's what is it like? Once a Thief is the John Woo movie. It's something Thief. I just didn't super connect with it, unfortunately. And I do remember it was one of those like I was doing other stuff, had the music on in the background. It just wasn't hitting. That is more on me. Yes, maybe I should have re-listened to it. I won't deny that. I just wanted to have some music on in the background, and that unfortunately it didn't really click. In Rainbows, I don't super remember, but I remember liking it and liking its energy. Not like energy, but like I liked its vibe. So I'll put it in B. I don't remember what this album is called. Or King of Limbs. I actually remember really liking King of Limbs. So I'm gonna put it in A. Hold up. I'm trying to move it higher. I fucking loved Moonshaped Pool. I talked about it here in Mad Season, how there was a song that created this very strong visual image. All of Moonshaped Pool just made me feel cold. And not like I have no emotions, I'm distant cold, like literally like I'm in the middle of a snowstorm. And I remember listening to the final track, and there was this strong visual of like I'm in a wood cabin in the middle of the woods. The snow is falling. And I'm like sitting on a couch. I'm trying to get warm. There's no fire and there's no one around me. I'm just cold. And that was a very powerful, just very powerful impact. I have a lot of respect for this album for that. It's definitely my favorite. It's like Radiohead as a whole. I definitely enjoyed. I feel like personally, I'm not as crazy about the vocals. It kind of varies from track to track, but I felt like the instrumentation was always so fucking good. And like I said, Moonshade Pool was phenomenal. Okay. Okay, Good Night, which I am familiar with because the vocalist Casey Lee Williams is the vocalist for Ruby. And because I had just finished Ruby at the end of 23, I was like, I'm gonna listen to her band now. So, what was this called? Like No, Awake is a song. I think it's called, like, Invisible or something? Or maybe that's a song? I remember enjoying this a lot, and same with The Fox and the Bird. I'm trying to put it up in A, and I don't remember what the name of this one was. This was the, like, EP or LP, but I really, really loved it, so I'm gonna put it up here. I thought it was fucking great. Go listen to the Proto Man. So this is actually one of the last things I did in 2024 is I listened to these. So these are two Mega Man inspired rock album, like rock operas, and they're really fucking cool. So I'm just gonna put them both in S. That's you know what? I'm just gonna put everything here up in B, so I don't have to keep doing this, and then we'll move them accordingly. Does that sound good? I think that sounds good. Bah, 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 bah. Okay, so the Proto Men albums. These were super dope. I said S. Do I want to put them in S or A? Fuck it, I'll put them in S. This is conceptually really cool, and the music is really cool. I really liked it. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that's a double S album. I didn't listen to all of Lauryn Hill. I I don't know what it was. It was like Rolling Stone or Billboard or something did a list of like best albums ever, and this was number one. So I decided to listen to it. I was like, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. So these next three are albums by YouTubers. So Crank Lucas, I'm familiar with very specifically because of his Busta Rhymes auctioneer video, which go watch it. It's the funniest shit. And I haven't watched one of his videos in a while, but I've enjoyed them quite a bit. I thought the album was all right. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I remember there was a song called Champion that I really, really liked. I think I'll put it in B, and I'll keep the Flames of Change by Smooth McGroove on there as well. Smooth McGroove, if you're familiar with him, or I guess if you're not familiar with him, you don't need me to tell you. He does acapella music that's often like video game covers. And it's really cool, super neat. He also has a phenomenal beard. This is a like folk album done by him with like original songs. And again, like I don't think I loved it, but I liked it. I had a good time listening to it, and I hadn't seen him like post anything in a long time. I was like, I hope this dude's okay. And knowing like he's all right, he's doing his own thing. I think that's super neat. And oh shit, I actually can't remember what this dude's name is. Forever Brony, thank you. That spelled with a four. So I know he does like Friendship is Magic inspired songs. And if you know me, you know me, I love some Friendship is Magic. Stargazer's Lens is specifically his chant series and like different versions of the chants. Like there's like acoustic versions, there's like kind of more like rock versions. I think he calls them like the concert versions. Excuse me, I fucking love the chants. Chant of Immortality, I think is beautiful. The Chant of Mirth, I like. I was like, I don't want to be like, I like it. Like, I like it, but it's not my favorite. Chant of Benevolence might be my favorite. I love it. Chant of what's rarities? It's a chant of selflessness. I think it's selflessness. Is one like I really like it, but it just feels so much shorter than the others. I'm like, oh, the verse is already done. That was quick. I just kind of wish there was more to it. Chant of Truth, I think, is actually my favorite. And then Chant of Allegiance, I think, is also super neat. So, like, this is the chance. I'm going to put the chance in double S. You can't stop me. So, here we go. These are all the albums that I listened to. This has been an hour and a half. Oh, this was a lot. So now that I've done every artist as a whole, do I want to make any changes? I'm going to be honest. I don't really want to touch this. After an hour and a half of talking about albums and also going, I don't remember these as well as I should have. I don't think I should really mess with anything unless I am saying this was my favorite album of the year. So let me make a triple S and let's make a determination, shall we? Okay. I'll say this, it's not Suburbs. I like Suburbs a lot. It's not Suburbs. It's not Discovery. I'm gonna put my contenders up here, and then whatever doesn't win, I'll put down double S. Or maybe the ones that aren't true contenders, I should knock down regular S, keep everything else in double S. I don't know. We'll see. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know if I want to put Moonshaped Pool up there. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna put Lauryn Hill up there either, and I don't wanna put Stargazer's Lens up there, but I don't think I will. So I think these are genuinely my contenders for my favorite album of the year. This hit me all 3 of these have hit me very personally in different ways. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna elevate them all to triple S and not pick a definitive because I genuinely feel like this is an any given day kind of thing. I could pick something different. And I really don't know what I'm leaning toward today. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's the album tier list. I think I am going to stop the stream here, take a little break, and then maybe in like 30 minutes, an hour ish, do this again and start the next one. If you were here for any of this, thank you so much. I hope to see you again in like 30 minutes or so. Even if I don't, if you're watching this later, or even if you don't watch this at all, I still hope you have a good day. I hope your day is lovely, your Sunday is lovely, and all that good stuff. So, bye.